Yeah, that bill I would vote for, and I'll do what I can to bring it to the floor. Unfortunately, it is politically sensitive, and it's something that we don't have people in 100% support on. It passed in the assembly by, I believe it was 1 vote. We've got local representatives that voted against that. So that's something that we've got to continue to push to get that done. In the meantime, we've got to, think globally, act locally. And that's why it's important to do everything we can, that while we're waiting for laws to change or what could happen, we've got to be prepared and do everything we can. So that's legislation that I support, and I'll do what I can to get it to the floor to try to get that legislation passed.
So what has to happen to get it?
Can you talk about your participation in the IDC, please?
Okay.
Tell us what's going on with that.
So that's something where I am independent. I consider myself a Democrat, but I conference independently. So that's something where I think it's important to make sure that we're getting results. Democrat, Republican, at the end of the day, we've got to make sure we're pushing our agenda forward for our community. And that's what I believe. Right now, the Republicans in the state Senate have the majority. That's without the Independent Democratic Conference that I'm a part of. The Republicans have the majority, and that's partially why those bills that we're talking about haven't made it to the floor of the Senate. But it's something that we've got to work to advocate for where we can get something done. So with that, I'll hang out.
I have information about the IDC that it's
I'll be happy to talk to you.
swinging the Senate Republican.
That's not true. That's
okay,
not the
talk
case.
to us about this, because I need to understand. I'm reading this information. I have this information. I'm very concerned.
So I'd be happy to talk to you offline in detail, but I'll give it to you then.
We
don't want to take away from the purpose of the event.
Well, very simply,
the senators have to stay
Which it would protect everyone in this room who's
Yes.
concerned, and you know that.
Absolutely. So I'll address that if I can do it as quickly as possible.
Tell us exactly why it's called up and what we can do.
Well, again, the Republicans have the majority. In the state Senate, what happens is there's a 32 member majority. So whoever has 32 votes rules that chamber. So right now, the Republicans have 32 votes. They have the chamber no matter what I do. That's done in elections.
Is that because, does that include the IDC?
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
So that's what I ask you to look at, do your homework, go home, take a calculator out, and you will figure out the math that the Republicans have the majority. So what we have to do is we have to work together to make sure that we're addressing these issues however we can. And I think on a local level, we have that opportunity. Like was said, this gentleman stood up 10 years ago, you said, and fought back against the local village. That's where these opportunities are happening right now. So we've got to take every opportunity that we have, and that means using our energy, our passion, and going to these local town halls and making sure that our voice is heard, that our residents are protected. So my commitment is to do everything I can to protect every single resident of our community, whether they're documented or undocumented. We've got to protect them. Our community is only as strong as the weakest link. And when people are intimidated,
How can you get that on the agenda? Because it's not, right?
I am only one senator, and I'm going to do everything I can.
Tell us what you can do to get it on the agenda.
What we can do is advocate and reach out to senators that might be opposed to that. Reach out to legislators. I wish I could snap my fingers and get my agenda done. Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. So I've got to work in a way that I can to push legislation that I think will move our community and do that as best as possible. I'm sorry that I don't have that immense amount of power to do that. So I hope that clarifies it. I'd be happy to talk in more detail, but I really want to make sure that people can get access to the information that they need. And if you have questions like that, feel free to call me. I'll hang out for a few minutes after and we can talk.
We're coming to your office, okay?
Great. And we can talk right now. And you're all welcome to my office anytime.